What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Mooman11 here with 10 tips you should follow to help get you first place in Plunder every single game. Now that this lovely game mode is back in the rotation and you can now drop in with your 4-man crew, I thought I'd make a little guide for you all. Because let's be honest, while you're nice and quarantined up in your home because of coronavirus, would you rather be paying attention to that online lecture or getting some wins? That's right, you should be focusing on your education because that's a fun one. Just kidding, let's get some wins! The first tip and something that's critical in Plunder is getting yourself a squad, communicating, and following a game plan. Unfortunately, at this time, there's no going solo in Plunder like there is now in Warzone, but who knows, that might be coming soon. But until then, take an unorthodox play from none other than those commie Russians and grab yourself some comrades to drop into battle with. Now I know what you're thinking, Mooman. I'm a red-blooded, gun-toting, capitalism-loving, beer-drinking, hamburger-eating, patriotic son of a South African businessman. But just this once, follow the Russians and grab 2 other buddies to help you fight. Having a squad that rolls together like the fat on an overweight man's tummy can immediately make a huge difference in your chances of winning a game. Make yourself a party chat, and with the advent of crossplay, Xbox users and PlayStation users can finally unite against the tyrannical forces of the PC master race using game chat. And if you don't have a microphone or headset, don't you worry, little Timmy, the new and improved ping system is here to help you and your squad mates pinpoint threats on your HUD with a touch of a button. Now lastly on this section, it's important to have a game plan and try your best to follow through with that. If one guy on your team has amazing gun skill who can take on a whole squad by himself, have him provide Overwatch for your team while you loot. If you find you're someone who likes to channel your inner kleptomaniac and hoard everything you see, make it a priority for you to clear every house in the area and lock down each one of those loot crates. The point is, make sure everyone knows what they contribute to the team and play off each other's strengths. This game plan comes in handy from the moment you drop in. A lot of times I see players dropping in randomly, without an objective in mind, and sometimes even without a team. This makes them easier pickings than Bambi's mother during hunting season. But that brings up our next tip. Drop into a section of the map that has importance. You and your squad can choose to drop into a hot zone if you'll be able to watch each other's backs and pick up each other's kills. But that's not the only option you have in Plunder. You can go with my personal method. That's worked time and time again for my squad, dropping a little bit further off the beaten path, but making sure to land on a contract. At the early stages of the game, looting for cash crates is more important than killing people is, because, well, they just don't have any money for your greedy little pawns to steal. It's best to follow the CDC's advice and avoid any gatherings of larger than 6 people in an area. We like to have one person land directly on a contract and the other 2 land in the surrounding area, practicing effective social distancing along the way. This maximizes the area you can cover and gives your squad a definite goal to work towards that rewards you pretty heavily. Seriously, contracts are something I see a lot of people just run right by, like when you see a homeless man in a dark alley, but they don't realize that this homeless man actually has a surplus of unmarked banknotes he procured from an armed robbery only hours before that he's desperately trying to share before his impending capture and incarceration. I recommend prioritizing landing on a contract that is either a scavenger contract or a secure area contract located on a part of the map that isn't well traveled. Avoid starting the game off with a bounty contract because it could give you a target that's clear on the other side of the map, and it's better to get some freebie crates with scavenger and some straight up free cash with the secure area one. It also gives some time for another team to take first place right away and get marked for everyone to see on the minimap and get swarmed like a toilet paper aisle in a Walmart. But really, you should try to have a contract active at all times. It's free money. Moving on to tip number 3 is something you need to make sure you're aware of at all times in the game, and that's to be paying attention to your HUD and your minimap. In Plunder, unlike Warzone, it's easy to forget what special items you have available because you drop in every single game with the same custom loadout of your choice. I've seen it where one of my teammates will have a self-revive ready to go but forget he has it, so my other teammate will run in to revive him only to get his head cratered harder than the dinosaur extinction. Luckily, you can see your teammate's self-revive capabilities, which is indicated by the little cross in a circle next to their names. If you need to, you can also gently remind them to repair their armor if they're running around naked like a streaker at a football game. The point is, keep an eye out on your HUD so you're consciously aware of your ammo count, your armor level, your teammates, etc. Also make sure you're checking your minimap constantly while you're on the move. They made a really weird thing in this game where if an enemy hops into a vehicle, you'll be able to see them approaching on the minimap before you can even hear their loud-ass V8 twin-turbo lifted Ford F-150 Super Duty Texas Edition come rumbling down the road. So just make sure you're being aware of what's going on around you and your teammates, and take some time to really understand what's going on in your personal life. Did you drink water recently? Wash your hands? Take care of yourself. That's a freebie tip on me. Now back to Plunder. Tip number 4 is all about creating a class and a loadout that works for you, works for the map, and works for Plunder specifically. That's right, just because you watched a video and made the perfect loadout for Warzone doesn't mean it's the best class setup for Plunder. You may be playing the same map, but honey, you are not playing the same game. Plunder prioritizes a lot of different things compared to Warzone, namely money and respawns. This is not Warzone, where you only have one guaranteed life, so the stealth aspect of your gameplay is greatly reduced. Overall, you need a weapon you're comfortable enough with to deal with enemies at range, and one you need for close quarters encounters. Use Overkill, not Ghost. Enemies are going to have a general sense of where you are most of the time anyway, because you'll need to deposit your cash at some point, and there's only a couple of those locations on the map. The class I like to run uses a FAL, a weapon with pretty solid damage and accuracy over long distances, and I run the hybrid sight that doesn't have any scope glint. It's actually easier for me to pick off snipers half the time because they're lit up like an angel descending from the heavens. All you gotta do is flip your hybrid sight to bridge the gap between those long distance gunfights and the closer to medium range ones, and for a secondary, just take a shotgun. If you start taking damage, that enemy is most likely going to rush you, so if you have a weapon at the ready that can mow him down from full armor at point blank range like a Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone inspired deranged murderer, by all means take advantage of that. And one last thing about classes, make sure your squad is running smoke grenades. By the time you need to go deposit, you're going to have a pretty penny saved up, so taking a play from Snoop Dogg and smoking the hell out of everything around you when you call in that chopper and deposit is pretty handy. Now this brings us to tip 5, what to do when you make it from the outskirts of the map to one of those helicopter landing pads. The most important thing to do is to stick with your squad. Scope out the area first, and if you have the opportunity, Obi-Wan Kenobi that ish and take some high ground. When you feel like you're able to make a move, whether that means you don't see anyone at the LZ or you've gone and Rambo'd everyone there to death, have a squad mate with the least amount of cash go call in the helicopter after you smoked it out. His soft, supple body will act as a magnet for all the juicy bullets meant for you, and his suffering, if any, can help reveal any hidden enemy locations for you to take down. When it's safe, smoke it again and go deposit, and make sure you keep moving around anytime you're on the pad. I know like 99% of y'all have 2 working thumbs, so use one to hold down the deposit button and the other one to keep strafing around, making yourself a harder target. So now you've gone and deposited all your money into the bank, put 90% of your earnings into a diversified mutual fund so that your money can start working for you, and bought your girl that new vinyl she's been talking about, because let's be honest, she's worth it. What do you do now? Tip number 6, play aggressive. When you've deposited everything you had, you have nothing more to lose. Remember, the FDIC insures your money in the bank in the event that the economy continues to collapse. As job security increases and the value of money continues to plummet due to idiotic economic policy like printing infinite money for the masses to further devalue the US dollar, there's only one solution: to grab that rifle of yours and rebel against the system. Now is the time for you to go on the hunt. Rally up with the squad, hop on a vehicle, and pick up a bounty target along the way. If none of those are close, you can also pick one of those top teams on your minimap and actively look to go pick a fight with them. If you take them down, great. You've just greatly increased your cash reserves and significantly reduced one of your direct competitors. If you don't win and happen to get killed, no biggie. They get nothing for their troubles and you've possibly inflicted some damage and can just drop back in with your squad in a few seconds. But this leads into tip number 7. If you do win, continue to stay mobile. You'll likely have some Dog the Bounty Hunters, may his wife rest in peace, hot on your tail now that you're marked for everyone to see, so make your way back to a cash deposit pad and follow the same steps from earlier. Stay vigilant and secure your hard stolen cash. Don't forget to follow a game plan, but remember, it's okay to deviate away from it from time to time if there's a bigger reward out there waiting for you. Let's just say you're on your way back to the deposit pad and start taking fire. If you've got a tactical advantage and think you can take the fight, by all means, take it. Go full Doom guy, rip and tear baby, rip and tear. Just remember throughout the game, this tip number 8, be sure to collect the cash your enemies drop when you kill them. Unlike the Battle Royale game mode, cash is king here. The almighty dollar rules with an ironclad fist even Kim Jong-il would envy. It does you no good to wipe a squad and move on without looting. Sure, you've dropped their cash supply, but you'll never win the game without claiming their property as your own, like a crazed pilgrim just introduced to the new world. Aside from their cash, you never know what kind of kill streaks they might just have lying there in their pile of loot. And the more you can avoid by having to spend your own money, the better. In fact, aside from the occasional armor bundle or UAV, I would personally advise against spending your money on consumables in this game mode. Everything you could need can be found around the map or dropped from enemy players, so win your gunfights and take. As the game progresses and you're starting to get close to your 1 mil, you'll likely find yourself hovering around the deposit zone since you don't want to be caught out with a ton of cash in your pockets. That's where tip number 9 comes in handy. When you're getting to the late game, stay close to those landing pads. These will become hot zones for players, and the more you can take out, the more cash you'll secure for your team. Also, a really important thing to note when you're about to hit that 1 million is as soon as your team gathers their millionth dollar, all of your money automatically gets deposited into the bank, even without you calling in a helicopter. So don't take unnecessary risks putting your neck out there and calling in a helo to deposit your 150 grand when your team is sitting pretty at 999,000 moo money. Instead, take a look around the area and try to find some extra cash lying around to take you past your goal and watch all that cash magically get deposited in the bank at 1 mil. With that, let's talk tip 10. What to do if you and your squad just keep dying over and over and are leaking cash. Well, first, try investing in some Flex Seal. Phil Swift says that stuff can really plug up those stubborn leaks. And if that doesn't work, don't get discouraged. The game isn't over till it's over. Even if you're not the first team to 1 million, you can still win first place during the bonus overtime round. If you're not doing well in a particular area, relocate to a different part of the map and start fresh there. Or like I mentioned earlier, go on the hunt for one of those top 3 teams and take their cash and watch your placement skyrocket higher. All in all, follow these 10 tips and you'll be sure to improve your Plunder gameplay. If you enjoyed the video, you're more than welcome to drop a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments your squad's favorite strategies. You can also catch the Krew live on Twitch at twitch.tv/MrMooMan11 or check out some of our gaming clips on Instagram at officialMooCrew. As always, I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.
He's right on top of the roof.
Okay.
He's loading.
Oh, that's good, baby.
He won anyway, so.
Just trying to stay alive.
Woo!
I got 3 more guys on me there.